What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Player of the Month Vela. Very cheap to finish. I think about 25k to complete the SBC. All you need is a minimum of one MLS player, one team of the week, an 83 rated team, and 75 chem. So if you haven't checked out the SBC that I completed, it's the video prior to this one, so go ahead and check that out, and you can see the squad that I put in. Really not that bad, to be honest. It's a cheap SBC. Is the player totally worth it? We're going to discuss that in this video and find out what's his good points, what's his bad points, and is the SBC worth it? So to start off with, the main thing that I saw when looking at the card in general was the 2-star weak foot. Personally, I think that's a bit tragic for a striker, especially one that in this game you can kind of be hitting it left and right. It's not always the case of going on the strongest foot. So Vela's already at a disadvantage there for me. I like to have at least 4-star if possible. 5-star is just that little bit of a bonus. He does have the 4-star skills, which is a little bit of a bonus, but the weak foot already's put this card on bad terms with me. 5'10", so he's not the smallest of players. He's not tiny. I thought he was smaller than that in the game, but then a lot of the time people are comparing him to Ibra, so there's a lot of posts of him there, and Ibra's massive, so that is just what it is. He has a high attacking work rate with a low defensive, so pretty much the perfect combination that a lot of people like when it comes to a striker. Pace-wise, 83, shooting 87, which is actually quite decent, 82 passing, 88 dribbling, which again is a really nice stat, and then 70 physical. So you can already do the math of what sort of chem style you'll want on this card. Again, I explained it in the SBC video as well, just basically going through that. But this card for me, it just didn't seem to click. I don't know if it's the team personally that I used. It was a little bit less meta than I would have liked, mainly because he's in the MLS, so he is harder to link. I had to link him with Mexican players at the minute because obviously I don't have any icons, in fact. So that kind of narrows down who I can actually put him with. So for that, I kind of blame my team and my club for personally half of this review not being the best team that it possibly could be. But overall, I don't know what it was with him. He was missing shots. He sometimes weren't in a position that I'd want in a striker. And especially seeing as though I'm playing the same formation that I've been playing pretty much the last 150 games, I'm really comfortable with that formation. So I thought he would be quite good at it. I've had players that are smaller. I've had players that are bigger. All of them have been managed with this formation. But for me, I think his position was definitely suited more onto the right wing than it was actually a striker. And I think that's the biggest surprise when seeing this card, that he is actually a striker. On the ball, I felt like agility and dribbling wise was fantastic. Really liked him on the ball. Shooting wise was decent as long as you got in the right positions. If you really struggled with it, he was that little bit lacking in the consistency for me. He scored a few goals, a lot of them tap-ins. I'm not going to lie, I can say he scored like 7 or 8 goals in 4 matches, but a penalty, a couple of tap-ins, some decent finesses. It's not a bad overall. I'm not saying that he's absolutely unusable and he's terrible and don't do him, but for an SBC card, a player of the month especially, just coming after Martinez, who looks fantastic. Personally, I wasn't too impressed with him. I felt like on the ball he was good. Off the ball, I found positioning wise, he wondered a little bit. I think personally he is better as a right wing. I wouldn't put him as striker, which does add the positive to this card that you can put him in CDM to get any sort of links and then move him during the game. And then if you wanted, for instance, Messi as the striker for whatever reason, then you can do that with this card. Granted, you probably wouldn't have Messi and Vela in the same team, but still, that is a possibility with this card, which I do like because of obviously the position changes. But apart from that, that's where probably I draw the line with this card. He's 25k, which I think is an incredible amount of value for coins. I've given him a 7 out of 10. I think for an 86 rated card, it's probably a little bit more expensive than the lowest rated 86. But for the design, I really love the design. In fact, most of these cards at the minute, I'm really respecting FIFA's effort for actual card design. Animations is the only thing left, but we'll cover that in another video. Apart from that, I think the value of the SBC is fantastic. Is this player usable in many teams? Probably not. unless you've got the Martinez, who, to be honest, was a really, really good striker, and I'm kind of having doubts on not doing it now. I think I have missed it already anyway, but that card was a really nice card, so linking in with him, that's actually a good option right now. And apart from that, that's really the linkable factors with him. Mexican players, you've got a couple of icons that obviously have been newly introduced into the game, and then obviously the long-standing Hernandez, who could partner up front, would give him the super strong link, which is very nice. But apart from icons, Mexican players, there's not really a vast majority of them. There's not a lot. I think Herrera from Atletico Madrid is a very solid average card. If anything, he's not quite incredible, but he's there. He can link him with, who personally I did. Jimenez, I think is how you pronounce his name, from Wolves, the striker. If he got himself a cheeky couple of informs, again, another very nice card, but will he? Probably not as well. So you're struggling with maybe a super sub you'd kind of look him to do. You may want him as a super sub. Again, there's plenty of other cards at the minute. So personally, I think he's just a club storer. 25k isn't a lot, and you can make that practically in an hour, if that. So for me, it is probably going to be a club storer, if anything. But overall, I'm giving him a 5 out of 10. I thought he was good. He is good, but that's probably where I draw the line. And I think the negative factors across him really outweigh the positives from him. And that's a shame, because Vela's such a really nice card in general, and I was hoping for a right wing, because it just makes it that little bit easier, because he's not really necessarily a striker for me, and I don't think I'd picture him as a striker in comparison to someone like who I've put in that's worse than is Werner. Werner was a fantastic player. Yes, he may not have the greatest strength, such as like Vela, but pace-wise is there, shooting-wise is there, and I think he costs probably only about 10k more. So that for me is the review on Vela. Let me know your opinions on him as well. Did you find him a little bit better? And also, who are you linking him with? Have you got icons in your team yet? Or have you got any Mexican hidden gems that I have not heard of? Or do you just go out with the MLS squad? And that's always a good positive for him as well. Just before we end this, icon swaps. That is probably the best value for this card, is the fact that you can use him in the squad battle matches, and that is exactly what I'm going to do with him. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for more content with the bell button on, just to know whenever I do an upload. It notifies you every single time, which is always fantastic. And apart from that, have a good day or have a good night, and I'll see you all for the next one.